Involves Caitlin Clark, the Department of Justice, and quite possibly the President of the United States himself. Somebody got to say it, so I'm going to say it. But the one thing I will not do is take credit for this. I am looking at the Wall Street Journal. The author of the article is a guy by the name of Sean McLean.
When the game is called foul, what happens? That is the query circling Caitlin Clark, who has reportedly been singled out in ways that have provoked controversy and who has been beaten and injured.
Is her right to a peaceful workplace a non-hostile work environment? Are those rights being violated?
Now, a possible civil rights lawsuit brought by Donald Trump's Department of Justice may compel the WNBA to take ownership of it. Yes, you read correctly. The DOJ may intervene on behalf of the WNBA. You won't believe what happens next, so fasten your seatbelts because this is going to be an exciting trip. The Washington Post made a shocking revelation in August 2025 that the Indiana Fever's sensational guard Caitlin Clark's handling would call for a civil rights inquiry. The piece wasn't holding back. Playing in a league where she is the minority, Clark, a white phenom, has encountered what seems to be excessive aggressiveness on the court, with flagrant fouls accruing more quickly than her record-breaking assists. This given that 70% of WNBA players are black, this tendency and the racially charged storyline surrounding her feud with players like Angel Reese may indicate systematic racism in the league. Title VI of the Civil Rights Act forbids discrimination in programs receiving federal funding, and the WNBA, which receives indirect federal funding through broadcast agreements and sponsorships associated with public institutions, may be held accountable if Clark's treatment is motivated by racial animosity. This is when things become even more bizarre. A case against the WNBA is not theoretical given Trump's DOJ's robust anti-discrimination policies. The possibility is real. The first season for Caitlin Clark has been nothing short of spectacular. She broke records according to ESPN statistics, averaging 17.1 points, 8.2 assists, and 5.9 rebounds per game through August 2025. But in addition to her outrageous acts, she has put up with a lot of physicality that has drawn attention. Let's dissect it. Clark received 7 egregious fouls in her first 20 games, which is a startling total for a rookie guard. For comparison, during her whole 2024 season, Breanna Stewart, one of the WNBA's most aggressive forwards, was only flagrantly fouled 3 times. Do you recall when, before the ball was even in play, Kennedy Carter hip-checked Clark to the ground? After a gross 1 foul that caused a social media conflagration, Carter's subsequent phone call soft Clark, as though she had a private issue with a rookie at the time. During a box-out, Alyssa Thomas sent Clark tumbling after she shivered in her forearms. Fans' indignation was not significantly reduced by the egregious 1 call, particularly as Clark hobbled off with an injured knee. Arie McDonald was ejected after drawing blood in a flagrant 2 from his elbow to Clark's jaw during a drive. Despite being clearly disturbed, Clark lost by 22 points in the victory. Not to mention how Clark was completely taken aback by Kelsey Plum's combative screen. Fans took to social media in droves, citing Plum's post-game grin as proof of intent. These occurrences are not unique. On 28% of her drives to the basket, Clark encounters hard contact, whereas Aya Wilson, the league's MVP, Clark missed 2 games due to a sprained ankle in late July, just when you thought things couldn't get much worse. She proved the WNBA needs her star power more than it needs anything else by coming back to lead the Fever to a 6-2 record in August while being injured. We might never hear of the WNBA again if she decides to play in another league, such as Ice Cubs Big 3. Let's now examine how these attacks relate to the NBA. Despite being more physically demanding, the men's league has higher refereeing standards. NBA players like Jason Tatum and Luka Doncic have averages in the 2024 to 2025 season that NBA.com reports that they commit fewer than 1 egregious foul against them in 40 games. Star protection is the top priority for NBA officials. Imagine LeBron James receiving calls with little interaction. Could you see Cooper Flagg, the #1 choice in the 2025 NBA draft, and a Duke phenom. Sustaining Clark's vicious beating? No way. Before a Bronny James-Cooper flag matchup began, the NBA would sound the whistle. Instead of race-baiting drama, like the Clark Reese affair, it would be about skill. For this reason, a lot of individuals believe the WNBA is a farce. There is no claim that Michael Jordan's race determines his status as the greatest of all time. His 5 MVPs and 6 championships are self-evident. Why, then, do stories that seem strangely personal eclipse Clark's genius? This is where a startling turn of events occurs. The Washington Post piece emphasized how racial tensions around Clark and Reese were heightened by social media. In a June 2025 interview, Reese played into the competition by accusing Clark of being overhyped. Even though Clark's stats were far superior to Reese's, fans flooded social media with tweets accusing her of enjoying white privilege. According to the Post, Clark may be subject to civil rights action because of the hostile atmosphere this speech and the WNBA's lack of officiating generate. Here's what they aren't telling you, though. Trump's DOJ has a history of getting involved in situations where there is suspected anti-white bias. Under Jeff Sessions, the Department of Justice began looking into affirmative action in 2017 that claims that white and Asian applicants were subjected to discriminatory measures at institutions such as Harvard and Yale, after evidence revealed that Black and Hispanic applicants were given preferential consideration. Yale agreed to amend its admissions procedures in 2020 as part of a settlement with the DOJ. The WNBA lawsuit might proceed similarly. In programs that receive federal funding, Title VI forbids discrimination on the grounds of race, color, or national origin. The article pointed out that the WNBA's broadcast agreements with ESPN, which collaborates with public colleges to host college games, would be subject to federal inspection. And the outcome will surprise you. If the DOJ discovers proof of institutionalized bias, such as referees disregarding the WNBA might be subject to fines, penalties, or required changes for blatantly disparaging Clark because of racial storylines or league pressure to minimize her fame. According to legal expert Jonathan Turley, who was cited in the Post, if Trump's administration gives the matter top priority in 2026, there is a 60% probability that the DOJ will look into it. The league's evasive reaction about player safety completely sidestepped the issue of race. Stay tuned, because this is a big component. What would motivate the players to assault Caitlin Clark? In 2025, Nielsen's WNBA TV ratings are up 22%. Additionally, Clark's games draw an average of 8.3 million viewers, which is almost twice as many as the league's non-Clark games. With Nike's Clark-branded shoe line expected to generate $100 million by 2026, she is a marketing powerhouse. The league, however, seemed happy to let her suffer. This is where things start to become really intriguing. The WNBA's carelessness is being eclipsed by Clark's tenacity. She led the Fever to their first postseason berth since 2016 and broke the single-season assist record in spite of the fouls. For the WNBA to contend with the NBA's dominance, Clark's star power is essential. However, by not defending her, it runs the danger of offending her fan base. At this point, everything entirely goes haywire. Referees have been exposed by fans for disregarding blatant fouls against her. A widely shared video from a July 2025 game shows a referee waving play on after glaring at a blatant elbow to Clark's ribcage. It's not just basketball that's causing the fury. It has to do with equity. Encounter greater numbers of uncalled fouls, a trend consistent with Clark's observations. And you'll see why this is so crucial by the end of this. The way sports leagues manage player safety and bias may change if the DOJ takes up Clark's complaint. The WNBA might be compelled to issue public apologies, mandate bias training, or even enforce more stringent officiating. Harvard and Yale were among the universities that gave in to DOJ pressure. A smaller organization like the WNBA won't have a chance. And the last turn of events was unexpected. Clark has remained out of the controversy, declining to address the racial storylines or DOJ suspicion. During a press conference following the game on August 10, 2025, she stated,